Hello and welcome to Lunch for the Soul. I am Melissa Wilson with Fox 26 in Houston. So happy to welcome you here to our newsroom today. And I have an amazing guest. I can't wait to introduce you to someone who has been through some really tough times in her life. But what an amazing, incredible story of redemption. A beautiful young lady I know you're going to fall in love with when you hear her story and how far she's come and what she's doing with her life today to truly make an impact, to truly make a difference after all she's been through. So let's get to it. Let's bring in Tyler Coleman. Hi, Tyler. So happy to see you again.
Hi, Melissa. It's good to see you.
Well, I tell you what, you have been through a whole lot in your young life, and now you are just doing something to make such a big difference. So I'm really happy to welcome you here today, and I think you're so brave to share your testimony. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Well, let's start with the tough story. So some really bad things happened to you early in life, and it led to you being in prison 16 times. I can't fathom how difficult that was for you. But let's just start. We have time here. Let's start with your childhood. What was going on? How all this began in the first place, and let's hear your testimony.
Yeah. Well, I'll start by saying that there was no foundation of God in my home. We might have gone to church on Christmas and Easter, but even that was inconsistent year to year. My parents divorced when I was 8, and my mom, sometime later, she met and married my stepdad, who was an abusive and crooked police officer. And so at a very young age, I had a very warped idea of what fatherhood was, of what authority was, and really of what love was. Oftentimes, they would, my stepdad specifically, would just mentally, verbally, some physical abuse, these things would happen. And then they'd turn around and say, I love you. So just a very warped idea of what
Mhm,
love even was, you
mhm.
know?
And so that's when you turned to drugs because you felt like it would numb the pain.
Yeah, well, that went on. I think they got married maybe when I was like 10 or 11. I don't remember exactly how old I was when they married, but, just going into, just as a young girl, I was so lost and so confused and trying to search for my identity. I didn't know that that's what it was at the time. But just trying to find my place in the world. And so going into school and then just seeking attention in school. And if it was negative attention, it was still attention. So just a lot of brokenness and dysfunction. And it was in high school when I was introduced to drugs for the first time. And I remember feeling like, oh man, I feel good. This makes me feel good. And it was something different than how I had been like feeling my whole life, my whole childhood. And so I think from there, like, it was just like, how do I get more of that?
Mhm.
How do I get more of that feeling that is numbing the pain from this over here?
Well, and I think you're so brave to even share your mug shots. And I take a look at you here, and you're so young and so naive. And I can't imagine how scary this lifestyle was for you to be getting in trouble time after time. I mean, what was that like when you would get arrested time after time after time again?
Yeah, it was, um, you know, it was difficult. It was so difficult. And I will say that, um, you know, when it came to a place in my addiction, Melissa, where like being incarcerated was better than being on the streets. Like, at least when I was incarcerated, I had food, I had a place to lay my head at night. I had access to be able to take a shower. I mean, I was homeless on the streets of New Orleans for some time. And I mean, I'd go days without having a shower, I remember just going to Circle K's, like little gas stations, and using their bathroom just so I could brush my teeth. And so it was almost like, again, just being on the inside was better than being on the outside.
Mhm.
And so it just really became a vicious cycle.
Well, after that 16th arrest, you decided enough was enough. You reached back out to your mom. Let's talk about what happened then, because this is where the redemption begins, and this is where things turn around for you. And this is, I would say, almost born again, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So the first three times my mom bailed me out, and the fourth time I called her from jail, she said, "You know what? If you're going to live your life like this, I can't have anything to do with you." And I didn't understand that tough love at all.
Mhm.
And so, that was again the fourth time I was incarcerated. Now, years later, I've been incarcerated a total of 16 times. And I called her that last time and I said, "Listen, if I don't do something different with my life, I'm either going to wind up in prison for the rest of my life because the judge told me so. If I see you one more time, you're going to be locked up for good. Or I'm going to be found dead on the streets." There was no middle ground for me. I had experienced several near death experiences when I was on the streets. And so I just knew I had to do something different. And I think when I made that call to my mom that last time, like she could hear the sincerity and the desire for change in my voice. And so she had come to visit me, and at this point now I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. So she had come to visit me there,
Mhm.
and she asked if when I got out, if I wanted to move to Oklahoma with her to try to restore our relationship. And I'll be honest with you, Melissa, I wasn't like, woohoo, I get to have this restored relationship with
Yeah.
my mom. I was still carrying a lot of bitterness and
Oh, of course.
unforgiveness.
Anybody would.
Yeah, yeah. And but I said yes because I knew I really didn't have any other choice. But God used that yes, and He used it in such a radical and miraculous way.
Mhm.
So when I get to Oklahoma, my mom says, "You need to go to counseling, you need to go to rehab." And I said, "I am way too prideful. I am not going to do that." I'm sorry, I was way too prideful. I didn't say
Yeah.
that. but
Yeah.
I but
But
I
you
but
were,
I
but
was.
now that you look back, you know that's why you said no.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right. Exactly. And so she said, "Well, how about we join the gym?" And I said, "Okay, I'll do that." My first visit in the gym, I was on the elliptical for like 10, 15 minutes, sweating it out, feeling good. Well, then I started to feel a little bit dizzy. So I went to go sit down. I ended up passing out. I hit my head on a weight machine. I was knocked unconscious. I had to be rushed to the emergency room. I had $4,000 in medical bills and staples put in my head. And I hadn't even been out of jail a week yet.
And things change though quickly from there. It's almost like that hitting your head it woke you up even more, I want to say, because it's incredible what happens. I'm gonna jump to it and show everybody. First of all, I mean, what a fit woman! Look at this. I look at you and I cannot even fathom how to make something like this happen. It's incredible. So you started working out a lot. Did it was it healing for you? Was it your
Yeah.
therapy?
Yeah. Yeah, the gym actually became my place of therapy, and I really had no idea how true that statement was until years later doing some research on the brain and coming to find out that
Mhm.
our brain is filled with oxygen. The best way to get oxygen flowing is through exercise. And
Mhm.
so for me, it really was a source of therapy, of just recovery. And so, yeah, so that accident happened in 2007. By 2009, I had a personal training certification. And by 2014, I competed in my first bodybuilding show.
I mean, I just look at this picture and it just looks like someone who spent their whole life working out. Like you would never guess in a million years all that you had been through by
Yeah.
looking at that. There was something really interesting about that time that happened to you that I find so intriguing. And talk to me about a certain word that came into your life that would change your career and your life and everything at that point.
A word.
Uh-huh, it starts with M. If
Oh,
you
I'm like, a word. Yes. Yes. So, yeah. So, actually, in 2010, I was just leaving the gym and I was sitting at a train track, and the Lord gave me the word misfits. And I'm like, "Misfits, where are you going with this?" And He said, "You used to be a misfit, but now you are misfit." And Melissa, I just knew that I knew that I knew that that was from the Lord because I'm just not that clever. And so I'm like, okay, well, what do you want with this Misfits? And he said, to empower and equip women who are or have been incarcerated, how to live a healthier lifestyle, physically, spiritually, and mentally. That was in 2010. I'm like, yes, let's go, God. And he said, no, 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 it's not time yet. Pump the brakes. I'm just giving you the vision of what I have in store for you. So he gave me something to cling to. And it wasn't until 11 years later in 2021 that I launched Misfits Mission. And so, yeah, so Misfits Mission exists to rescue women from the pit of destruction and restore them to a new song of peace, purity, and purpose in the Father's love.
Oh, what a mission. I mean, and I got to tour the house with you, and it is so incredible. So you came up with this beautiful safe haven. You call it the hiding place. Um, let's talk about what it looks like. I'm going to show everybody and give everyone a beautiful view. So we'll start here. I just love the bedrooms. I can't imagine, Tyler, a woman who's been in a jail cell and then she comes to this beautiful bedroom. Here's another one. I, the peace in my heart of just being here and seeing the positive affirmations you have on the walls, on the tables. What is their reaction when they walk in here and see this amazing space?
Yeah, I think you really hit it on the nail. It's just like, this is a place of peace and this is a place of safety. And I think when the girls step in from, being in prison and having experienced such traumatic things in their life to coming into a place like this that they can actually
Mhm.
call a home, has been transformational for them. And I will say, one of my greatest prayers is that, Lord, the minute that this one, our next girl walks through the front door, that she is radically transformed by your love. And I think that that's truly what they're experiencing. They're experiencing God's love in this place in a way that they never have before.
It's so beautiful to see. And right here, you see our photographer over on the left. This is David. And then this is a lovely lady. I got to meet Amanda yesterday. And I love how just she said the exact same thing, so much peace in her life. And I love that you have three pets in the house, a dog, a couple of cats that they can love on. That, and you know what she told me? She has children, but she said she didn't realize that she could still take care of something, that
Mhm.
she can't believe that she's able to do that because she had forgotten that she could take care of something because she wasn't even taking care of herself for a while. And it's
Mhm.
preparing her to be with her children again. How empowering is this for women?
Yeah, yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I mean that, we want to equip them holistically all the way around to be able to step out of here when they leave. So just to give the listeners kind of a little bit more context. So Misfits Mission is the name of the 501c3, the actual name of the ministry. The hiding place is the name of this women's discipleship home. And so, my heart really for these girls is it took me 17 years from when I was last released to where I am today. And I want to help accelerate their process and give them any of the resources and tools that the Lord has given to me within these past 17 years, so that when they're done here after the 12 to 16 months, that they're able to
Mhm.
step back out into the world and feel like they are equipped to live the lifestyle and live out their God-given purposes in life,
Mhm.
you know?
Well, and Amanda was telling me how fulfilling her days are. So you have workouts and you have Bible studies, and like I mentioned, she's getting to take care of the pets, and you're helping them reconnect with their families. I feel like because of your history and what you've been through, you're the perfect person to do it because somebody else might they might just not connect with them. Are you feeling that connection with these ladies?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And a lot of it, a big part of it is that, it starts with me going into the prisons and volunteering in the
Mhm.
prisons and meeting them there, connecting with them there, and saying, "Hey, listen, I've been where you've been." And that relatability is really the glue that bonds us together. Melissa, if you're
Sorry, are you not able to hear me? There we go.
Nope.
I was just showing how that those letters and that picture that I just showed is all the people who want to be and live there and to be a part of your program. What do they tell you in these letters? I'm sure every story is so different.
Yeah, the need is great. The need is so great, and we only have limited spaces, and the spaces that we have are all occupied are occupied. And I've got three more coming in the fall. Um, so yeah, I mean they're sharing their stories, they're pouring their hearts out, they're asking for applications. Many of them they don't have anywhere to go once they've been released. And then if they do have family, they recognize that their family is very toxic and dysfunctional and they can't go back home, because if they go back home, chances are they'll end up back in prison. And so it's gut wrenching to hear these stories and know that there's nothing really I can do. I mean, I can pray for them, and that's the best thing. I mean, prayer is the best answer to all things. However,
Mhm.
we want to be able to give them something tangible. And so I share resources with them when I can. But again, the need is just so great. And so we definitely need more houses.
Yeah, but so many. And when I was talking to Amanda, she says that if she hadn't have found you, she would have been in a halfway house, and she feels like she would have been right back in the system
Yeah.
shortly after that. And she feels like you were such a saving grace for her.
Mhm.
I love that you figured out that the best success rate is when you train and help the body, but also the mind and the spirit. And it's that powerful trio that's really making a difference, you feel like, in your own life and others.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like I said, just the power of exercise and what it does for the brain, and it literally helps
Mhm.
to recreate or to create new neural pathways in your brain. And so, this pathway of dysfunction, where in addiction, you're just, these neural pathways are just broken. And so exercise and eating healthy truly does help to create stability, emotional stability, and mental clarity and self-confidence. And these are things that girls have, they've never been able to experience that.
Mhm.
So
Well, I love that you want to take this to the next level. So
yeah.
let's talk about your dream. It's really close. It's just a few minutes from where this beautiful hiding place is, so to speak. So tell us about the next step and then how we can help you.
Yeah, so the next step is to have a for-profit, is to have a gym. And so this gym, we've actually secured this space, definitely walking by faith and praying that the Lord will bring some investors and some people to come alongside and help
Mhm.
support the vision. But this is really truly a holistic place. I envision this being a catalyst of change, not just for the girls here in the hiding place, but for the community. But it will also be a place of on the job training and discipleship training for our girls, that we're equipping them with administration, marketing, customer service, whatever their giftings are that the Lord has given to them. We want to help bring that out of them by giving them on the job training at the gym. And then there's a second floor to this building that we've secured. And so, there's so many, just really using this as a kingdom ecosystem for the Lord. And how can we, yeah, to see that come to
And
fruition.
don't you have a neat idea for the name of that too?
Grace and Grit Gym.
Oh, I love that. Grace and grit, baby.
Grit. Yes.
And that's what it's going to be all about. So let's talk
Yes.
about how we can help you. If we have somebody who could help donate or anybody who could help volunteer, whatever they can do, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I love that you put the website on there,
Mhm.
misfitsmission.org. If you're able to donate, just put in the donation for Jim, or if you just want to leave an open donation, we always welcome and appreciate that. But then also on the website, there's a way to do a contact us. And so if you just fill out that contact us form, I'll be back in touch with you.
Mhm. Oh, that's huge, and it would make, I know, a big difference to be able to bring this gym about. Do you have a goal in mind of when you want to see the doors open?
Melissa, I was really hoping that it would be by November so we could do, like,
Yeah.
come January, but my timing is not always God's timing.
It's true.
So hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can help get out the word and help speed out that process. I sure would love for that to happen for you.
Thank
As
you.
we begin to wrap up today, and I think back to all that you've been through, and again, how amazing you are and the difference you're making in this world. What was your pivotal point besides we talked about hitting your head, where you found God and you feel like things truly were going to turn around forever in your life? What happened?
For me, I wouldn't say it was just one, like, this was it for me. Like,
Mhm.
it truly has been a sanctification process where I gave my life to the Lord in 2007. And again, it's just like when you say yes to God, you never know what he's going to do with that yes. And so when I said yes to the Lord in 2007, there was no one coming alongside of me and mentoring me or discipling me. I was just kind of doing the next right thing, whatever I thought that was. And I messed up so many times along the way, but I would just keep moving forward, keep moving forward. God is just so faithful. He is so faithful. And now, Melissa, I truly just want to be a vessel for him to help rescue these women out of that same pit that I was in.
Oh, you're just so amazing. And I love this photo. I've just got to show this. And it just shows how strong you are sitting there on that couch for everybody to see at the hiding place. Um, any last thoughts of anybody who might be feeling lost right now and how they can find themselves like you did?
Yeah. One of my favorite verses is Psalm 40, verse 2, and it says that he lifts us from the pit. Basically, he lifts us from that pit of destruction, right? He sets our feet on solid ground and he establishes our goings. And so if you feel lost, if you feel like you're just in a dark place right now, I just want to encourage you to cry out to the Lord because he is with you. He never leaves you. He never forsakes you. And he's just waiting to hear from you.
So absolutely perfectly stated. I'm so thankful for you and to get to know you. And we
Thank
have
you.
a mutual friend who introduced us, and I will be forever grateful to him because I really feel like you're going to make and continue to make a huge impact in his life. If you have any updates or you need our help along the way, you reach back out to us here at Lunch for the Soul because
Yes,
we would
ma'am.
do anything for
Thank you
you.
so much, Melissa. Thank you for
Okay.
this opportunity.
All right, you take care of you. I'm going to quickly tell everybody goodbye here, but I want you to join me next week. You know where to always find us. It's here Wednesdays at 12:30 and Saturdays at 12:30. So you can always find us on our Fox 26 YouTube. You can find us at fox26houston.com at our website. And then when we're live, you can also find us on our Fox 26 Facebook page. So I just want to remind you, if you want to reach out to me, that's at 11:30, but we did change it to 12:30 recently. So I want to make sure you know that as well. Meantime, I hope to see you back here next week, same time, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for being here.